My name is Allie Ringhausen. I am currently the Executive Director of Great Rivers Land Trust, but I grew up in this area, lived here my entire life, born in Jersey County. Actually, I was born in Carrollton, but grew up all my life in Jersey County, and grew up on a family orchard. For 6 generations, the Ringhausens have been growing apples and peaches in this area, and we have property in Jersey, Greene, and Calhoun counties, and we had orchards on both sides of the Illinois River, and we would pack all of our fruit at a location in Greene County and ship it out to various parts of the country. And in my youth, that's what I did a lot of, and then, of course, went to college and got a degree in environmental science, and have been the executive director of Great Rivers Land Trust now for over 20 years. Well, the mission of Great Rivers Land Trust is to protect the land and water resources of the region and the various species that are on them, whether it's plants or animals, and also the history of the region. Currently, we are always looking at other land protection options, and we do this through a couple of different ways. We can either buy the land, or we can hold a conservation easement on the land, which is the development right of that land, so that basically it stays the same as it is, but it stays in private ownership. We're looking at a major river system here in the middle of the United States, where you have several major rivers all coming together in a very small region, really. And this kind of confluence region exists only in like 3 or 4 places on the planet, much less just on our own continent. So it's a very unique area. And along the rivers tend to be some of the richest ecological areas. And they're areas that a lot of people didn't really, in the early days of the European settlers coming here, these weren't the prime areas. They wanted, good farm ground that was easy to manipulate. But along the rivers, it tends to be, hilly, rough, wooded areas associated with lowlands that are wetlands that people didn't really know how to deal with. And so it wasn't the prime land. But now, it has a special value to it. I mean, we've studied the uniqueness now of wetlands, of these bluff systems, of these pocket prairies along the rivers. And these are where some of the most unique species exist. And it has the highest value for like migratory birds or reptiles, amphibians, things that you never see, but they're out there. And they're getting harder and harder to see because they're now becoming reduced in numbers because their habitat is disappearing. So if we can protect these areas, these special, unique areas, then we can protect all these other things that are on them, whether they're birds or snakes or amphibians or mammals, whatever the case may be. They've got to have a home. One section of the river, for example, between Alton and Pere Marquette, is this National Scenic Byway, the median of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway. And this area is fabulous. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful with the bluffs on one side of the highway. You've got the river, the mighty Mississippi on the other. You come to the confluence of the Illinois and the Mississippi at Grafton. But if you really look at it, it's from Alton to the Pere Marquette State Park, it's a giant guardrail. And you're just on it. And you have zero interaction with the river, basically, other than looking at it. And so the Land Trust and other groups that we work with have wanted to protect this area, but get access to it. I mean, there are several areas along the Great River Road where you can pull over now, and they are public access areas to where you can stop and you could go fishing, you could have a picnic, you could bird watch. If you're not from around here, you may just want to dip your toe in the Mississippi River to say you did it. But it's that kind of interaction that isn't available, and we're trying to make that available. It's a quality of life issue as much as anything. I have been working with Great Rivers Land Trust, as I mentioned earlier, started with them back in 1993 on kind of a project-by-project basis, and then I went full-time with them in '99 and have been there ever since. So yeah, it's been well over 20 years of my life I put into this, but it's my home. I like this part of the country. I like the 4 seasons. I like seeing the trees go through the different phases. I like seeing the wildlife come and go. I like seeing the migration. right here in the heart of the country. It's the Midwest. It's, good people, good values. It's a happy place. Does that sound too sugar-coated? We had a project that we were trying to protect a piece of property. It took us 17 years to see it come to fruition. But in the big picture, we're protecting land for perpetuity. And so if it takes a while to get the job done, so be it. But I look back now and we've protected thousands of acres in this region, a multi-county area, and it'll be there for my kids, my grandkids, hundreds of years from now. People will be utilizing these properties and say, thank goodness somebody had the forethought to set this aside. I see the corridor that follows the Illinois River up the Illinois River Valley, some beautiful farm ground. There's also then the bluff system, the forested system beyond that, or the view shed as we refer to it, as you're down this valley and looking up. And there are some very unique ecosystems in this forested and bluff area. And I think as time goes on, the people of the region will embrace this more and realize that this is a major resource, not just environmentally or conservation-wise, but it may be a recreational issue. It may be socioeconomic to it. This is where people are going to want to come and do things and enjoy this forest and these bluffs and these rivers that flow through this particular part of Greene County. And when that's going to be embraced, I don't know. But just thinking out in the future, Great Rivers is willing to be a part of that and assist in whatever way we can, whether it's just as a facilitator or as an entity that comes in and helps protect land. But we're looking towards what's going to happen there and help with this planning process. It's just one of the many tools that are available.